Hey movie fans, welcome to Movie Toast. I'm Drew Graber, and this is a show where we like to celebrate movies one drink at a time. Now if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel because I'll be releasing new videos like this every week. Now today I want to talk about Aquaman, DC's upcoming standalone film coming out this December. Now, I know it's not the Aquaman we were all hoping for, starring Vinny Chase and directed by James Cameron from HBO's Entourage, but I have to say it looks pretty sweet, especially from the extended 5-minute trailer they recently released that we're going to be breaking down today. But we got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to let you guys watch the video real quick. It should be getting started up here in the corner, and then we'll get to it, so enjoy!
My parents were from different worlds. And I was a product of a love that never should have been.
He could unite our worlds one day.
A son of the land and a son of the seas.
Your mother always knew you were special.
You are part of something deeper. You are the bridge between land and sea. Take your rightful place as king.
We're getting close now.
Oh yeah? Close to what? Dying of thirst? There's no way Atlantis were this far inland.
Check this place out. This is
Badass!
It's real. Nothing.
Of course it's not working. It's been sitting here collecting dust since before the Sahara was a desert.
Before the Sahara was a desert. Let's just say you do your best thinking when you're not thinking at all.
All right, now hold still.
Hey, what are you doing?
We need water. Near the closest source.
Show off. I could have just peed on it.
In this trident resides the power of Atlantis. If you seek my power, journey beyond the edge of the world to the hidden sea. In the wrong hands, it would bring destruction. But in the hands of the true heir, it would unite all our kingdoms, above and below.
Hey, wait!
What?
Shouldn't we have written it down first?
I memorized it. Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, totally.
What did you just say?
Something trident.
The beast has awakened. The time has come for Atlantis to rise again.
Who the hell are you?
That was awesome.
The war is coming to the surface. You are not going to win this.
Billions will die unless you help us.
I'm no leader. I'm not a king.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now I need something more.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
Alright, I hope you guys like this trailer. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get to breaking it down. Okay, so I really like this trailer, and one thing, I think just the start of it, like this transition with the snow globe looks really good. I really like it. It's seamless, and it's really creative, and I think that's a good indication of what this movie is going to be like. I think it really shows that they put a lot of time and care into it. And yeah, it's just a small transition, but something like that can go a long way with the films.
A son of the land.
This CGI is terrible, and I really hope they fix it. Moving on.
Mother always knew you were special.
I really like this submarine sequence because it introduces how strong Aquaman actually is. He's actually about just as strong as Wonder Woman and even sometimes Superman. And I really like this shot here where he jumps out of the water and lands on the submarine. I just think it looks really beautiful with the sunset in the background. And it makes me really happy to see that they have shots like these that make the film look as beautiful as it possibly can be.
Is king.
I like the logos. I think that's a cool, creative way to show the logos. Once again, just shows that they put a lot of time into this, and I really like that. Okay, now they're in the desert. Kind of reminds you of Uncharted 3. If anyone hasn't played that, I recommend playing Uncharted. It's a great series. And okay, they're in the desert. So this kind of, we're going to pause it here. This movie seems to be pulling from 3 different comics from the New 52 series, volumes 1 through 3. This scene in particular pulling from both volume 1 and 2, where in volume 1 Arthur is lost in the desert, and in volume 2 he is searching for the lost artifacts of the first king of Atlantis. So it seems like we're getting a mix of those 2 storylines, and given this scene. 2 people I'm surprised we haven't seen in the trailers yet are Dr. Shin and Volko. Dr. Shin is a marine biologist that worked with Arthur when he was younger, and Volko is kind of like a mentor to Aquaman in the comics. So I'm very surprised to see that we haven't seen them in any of the trailers yet. And pause here. So I really like this scene and dynamic between Mira and Arthur because it's the first time we see what their chemistry on screen is going to be like, and I think it does it really well. I think Amber Heard and Jason Momoa did a really good job at portraying their characters' chemistry and their personalities, and I thought the writers did a really good job at writing the separate personalities and having them work off of one another. I think this scene does it really well, and I'm excited to see it in the rest of the movie.
Nothing.
Of course it's not working. It's been sitting here collecting dust since before the Sahara was a desert.
Before the Sahara was a desert. Let's just say you do your best thinking when you're not thinking at all. All right, now hold still.
Hey, what are you doing?
So I really like the effects on Mira's water shaping abilities. I like the glow of blue on her hands and the glow of blue in her eyes. That's accurate to the comics, and it just looks really cool and is a good touch with the film.
Show off. I could have just peed on it.
Okay, stop here. I think this line's very important because for many people, it's their first glimpse of Aquaman's personality ever, obviously excluding Justice League. In the comics, he's very charismatic and speaks his mind often and can be serious when he needs to, and I think Jason Momoa does a really good job at portraying that and interpreting it in his own way and putting his own spin on the character. Now, this guy is most likely Kahina, the first king and founder of Atlantis, also the creator of the Lost 7 relics, one of them being Aquaman's famed trident. All this, once again, pulling from Volume 2 of the New 52 series, The Others. And here he is forging the trident and showing off his power with it to a bunch of whales. Quick shout out to this shot. It looks straight out of the panel from Volume 1, and it's just a really cool shot. Pause here real quick. This is Orm, also known as Ocean Master, being played by Patrick Wilson. He appeared in Volume 3 of the New 52 series, Throne of Atlantis, and is going to be our big bad. He believes that Arthur is unfit to rule as King of Atlantis as he was raised on land. And that's all I'm going to say about him for now, because spoilers. So this shows us that we're going to be getting into some of the backstory of Atlantis and how the city sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And it looks like it may have something to do with King Kahina. This is another good example of Mira and Arthur's chemistry, as well as Arthur's charismatic personality, giving us a good idea for the tone of this film.
Totally.
What did you just say?
Something trident.
The beast has awakened. The time has come.
This is King Nereus, leader of the Zeeble territory, one of the 7 underwater kingdoms. Zeeble is supposed to be where Mira is from in the comics, but I've yet to see much evidence of whether or not the film will stay true to her backstory in the comics.
For Atlantis to rise again.
And pause here. This is Black Manta from Volume 2 of the New 52 series, The Others, and is a mercenary dedicated to killing Arthur. I'm worried about him being in this film just because he is such a great story and such a great backstory. I want to see it done properly in the film without being overshadowed by the rest of the story. However, I am willing to give the film the benefit of the doubt that they will handle the character well. Oh, and he wears a badass suit and shoots lasers out of his eyes. I really like this chase and action sequence. It's really well paced, and I like how this Black Manta henchman is just busting through walls and homes to catch Mira, where in other films we see there's always some convenient path through apartments and hallways to follow their target, and I think they did a good job at breaking that stigma. I really like this dolly shot. It's a cool way to shift us from Mira's perspective to Arthur's, so props to Don Burgess, the cinematographer, for that shot. I'm really glad we get to see Mira be a bit of a badass here and do the swashbuckler parkour, because I was a little worried that her action arcs might be overshadowed by her arcs with Arthur, and she's a badass in the comics, so I really like the fact that we get to see that here as well.
That was awesome.
The war is coming to the surface.
Okay, we have to admit this armor looks awesome.
To win this.
Billions will die unless you help us.
From this scene, we get to see a lot more of Queen Atlanna than I thought, so that makes me happy. And Trench Monsters from Volume 1, glad we get to see them too.
I'm no leader. I'm not a king.
This I'm Not a King line fits really well into Arthur's character, and I think Jason Momoa does a really good job at showing Arthur's internal battle of trying to figure out where he belongs, because he never feels like he belongs on land, and he doesn't feel like he belongs in Atlantis. And I like Mira being his voice of reason too, because that's pretty accurate to the comics.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now I need something more.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
And stop. Here is the comic accurate suit. Now, I think the suit looks amazing. I'm so surprised they put it in the film. I never thought we'd see it in a million years, but I just wish they didn't show it in the trailer. DC tends to spoil stuff in their trailers, and this is one of them I wish they didn't spoil. I would have much preferred going and seeing the movie in theaters and being surprised from watching the movie. But overall, I'm really excited for this movie, which can be a dangerous thing to say about a DC movie, but after watching this trailer, I think it's fair to say that the movie is very well paced and put together, and there was a lot of time and love put into making it. So I think that being excited is a good bet for this one. And I hope to see you at the theaters for Aquaman on December 21st. Cheers.